Jello Beats, holla at me.
A new band of rebels arose who were determined to carry the fight to Jerusalem. The Sicarii. To the Sicarii, anyone who wasn't fighting the Romans was a collaborator and worthy of death. Many were slain every day, and the fear men put in was worse than the calamity itself.
Guys that's still teaching this 1992, the mark is Christianity and an embargo, or the mark of the beast is sin. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahshua, we're going to dissect that.
Bring up a picture too.
We're going to dissect it. And I'm gonna need you to go into the blue letter because we're going into these words. We're going to go into a few of these words because it's going to become evident what the mark of the beast is. Point blank here.
You see it? Wow. Bring it up. You see it? Hold it still. Slow. Yeah. This brother got that antenna implanted into his forehead. I mean, into the back of his head, and then it comes, you know, around to the front of his forehead, you know. And it was another guy that had it where it came further down. His is kind of like up above it, but you know, it came and it was just straightly down on his forehead, man. And what it does is I guess it's supposed to convert sound into colors. I guess he's colorblind. He'll convert sound into colors, and he's you know, some type of artist or whatever. But it's basically, you know, providing him, you know, ways to do things in which he couldn't. You know, the same thing that the chip does. So with that, you know, it's implanted into his head. He can't, you know, take it on and off, you know, to lose it or whatever. So he could also use it to, you know, get into his house, get into his car. He can use it for all kind of things. You know, people could, you know, probably pick him up off of it, you know. And the same thing that they use for the chip. So, I mean, we've got the exact, you know, the prophecy down to an exact thing. In your right hand or in your forehead, man. All right? And you got people out here with the chips in both hands, you know, in their jaw and all kind of places.
Yeah, but people they get it here, they get it there. The standard place is going to be your right hand or your forehead.
Romans chapter 8, verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High.
So we know the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. And we know that Esau, Satan, you know, the arm of Satan is carnal. It is enmity with the Most High that is spiritual. Read.
For it is not subject to the law of the Most High.
That's right.
Neither indeed can be.
Neither is it indeed can be. In the RFID chip, that's against the law of the Most High because you're making that decision within you.
That's right.
In the first, so we know that it's whatever his mark is going to be against the law of the Most High. What they can say, sin is, but remember, it's carnal. Understand it being carnal. Now go to 2 Corinthians 10.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but our warfare is different from Esau's warfare. All of Esau's weapons are carnal. And that mark of the beast is his weapon, is one of his chief, if not his chief weapon. Go ahead.
But mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
That's right. Okay, that's it on that. All right, now I want you to get Genesis 4 and 15. Now, on that premise, we understand that that we are dealing with spiritual, and Esau and Satan's side is dealing with carnal things. That's that was the purpose of reading those scriptures, were to understand and start this premise. Now go to Genesis 4:15. Read that.
This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
So the Lord said, what? A mark upon Cain. Read.
Lest any find him lest any finding him should kill him.
And we know that that mark that was set upon Cain was his skin being turned white, him receiving leprosy. That is the mark of Cain. Okay? Point blank, period. And let's prove that it was a physical mark that came. Let's pull that up in the blue letter. The word there should be Strong's H22.6, and it's awaf. Awaf. Okay? And we're gonna see what it means. I'm gonna read. Honestly, I got it all right here, but I want you to pull it up just for the truth's sake, just to show these people we ain't lying. But it's Strong's H22.6. It's awaf, and it means sign, a signal, right? A sign, we gotta see a sign. A signal, we gotta see a signal, right? Distinguishing mark. These are physical things, right? We good? Okay, a distinguishing mark, it's a physical thing, right? A banner, these are physical things. An omen, warning, ensign, a token, right? Proof, miraculous sign. Okay, these are all the things in which fall into that word. Okay, now come back, and I want to read a few scriptures on how that word is used. What's up? You got a question?
I just want to listen to what you got going on here. If we don't mind.
All right, no, that's fine. That's fine.
So what? Say, read it again.
Go to Genesis 1 and 14. We're gonna show how this word awaf is used, and we're gonna see if it's a physical thing or if it's a spiritual thing.
So Genesis chapter 1 verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs."
Let them be for signs. Now that word awaf that was used for mark in Genesis 4 and 15 is used for signs in Genesis 1 and 14. Yeah, pull it up. So prove it.
I actually say it too.
Yeah, you can scroll down and you can see the use.
So tap it again. Hold that up. You might have to just put it in post-production.
Yeah, now it's all good. I can put it in the post. Oh, we got it?
Signs. Translation count. Signs 60 times. Then we go down. Genesis 1:14. Same H226.
So it's the same word. So we know that the sun and the moon and the stars can see and perceive, right? So we know those are physical things. Right? Now let's take another where it's used. Go to Genesis 9 and 11. Yeah, no,
Get your YouTube thing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, all right then.
This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off anymore.
So the Lord is talking about a covenant being established, right, Reed?
By the waters of a flood.
So this is talking about the flood, the covenant that Noah made with the flood, right? With the Most High, right? That he would never cut off all living things with water again. Read.
Neither shall there any more be a flood unto this flood to destroy the earth.
Read.
And the Most High said, "This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you."
That term token, that's you. That's awaf. H22, 22 and 6. It's all good. We ain't got to get it. But H22 and 6 is that word awaf. That's for token. Now, what was the token? We'll keep reading. This one. Tell us what the token is.
And every living creature that is with you for perpetual generation.
Read.
Verse 13, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant.
He set the bow in the cloud as a token of the covenant. The rainbow. This is a physical thing that we can see. The rainbow. That was the token, the awaf. So we know that the mark of Cain is physical. We know that the signs in the heavens is physical. We know that the rainbow is physical. Read.
Between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud.
That the bow shall be seen. That rainbow, right? Watch. We're gonna show 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna show 5 examples of this word awaf, and the point is gonna be clear. The scriptures say 2 or 3 witnesses. We're gonna do you a couple better. Just to pound the point in, right? Through the spirit and power, Yahweh. Go ahead, Genesis 17:11.
So Genesis chapter 17, verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token.
A what? A token. The same thing, the same word, awaf, a token. Now, circumcision, we know circumcision is physical. Now the scriptures speak about a spiritual circumcision, but this covenant is talking about the actual physical circumcision. That was a sign of the covenant. These are all signs, marks, physical, actual things that the eye could perceive, that you could behold. Read.
But betwixt me and you.
Between me and you, between Abraham and the Most High. Now go to Exodus 4:17. We're going to show you, man. Cain's mark is something that was physical. Now, Nate, even Nathaniel IUIC is teaching that it wasn't a physical mark that was put upon Cain. He really teaching that now.
Exodus chapter 4.
But see, they don't go into the language, and they don't do it on purpose, so doctrines like that can stand. So they can interpolate all they want to. Let's go into the Hebrew. Let's go into the Greek. But go ahead.
Exodus chapter 4 verse 17. And thou shalt take this rod in thine hand, wherein thou shalt do signs.
Moses' rod he did signs with. He took his rod, he threw it down, it became a snake. He ate the snake to the Pharaoh. Those were physical, actual signs that he did with that rod, right?
This is Numbers chapter 14 verse 22. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness.
Now, miracles. That word miracles, that's how it's used there. Miracles, right? Now, all those miracles, matter of fact, start back from the top of that.
14:22. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles.
Which have seen the miracles. You have to see the miracles. So it has to be something that's physical. Read.
And in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times.
Esau is a homosexual.
What did he say?
Did you hear that? He said, remember when you seen my boss? Esau is, and you wonder why we say Esau is a goddamn faggot.
And hey, that's all we ever hear, man, walking up the block every single Sunday, man.
Just white people talking about gay shit.
Being faggots.
That's really crazy. It's a lot. Yeah, go ahead back.
And he's gonna bring them. Remember, it could have been a. I'm not even saying that knowing that it's Esau, but it could have been a complete accident.
Yeah, but Esau want to bring it up
to remind
because
you.
He thinks about this. You know, he wonders about that sometimes.
I want to remind you.
Esau is sick himself, but that's how he operates, man. That's a carnal, fleshly man. That proves the point. He is a carnal, fleshly, evil, wicked, unspiritual damn man. Go ahead.
Keep reading Numbers.
That was it on 14 and 22?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
And in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice.
That's right. Now look, don't want to get off into what that's talking about, but the whole point is seen in miracles. Awaf, the same word. Signs, tokens. Miraculous work is also one of the definitions, or miraculous sign rather, is one of the definitions for that word awaf, Strong's H22:6. Now I want you to go to Revelation 13:14. Because I'm going to bring out a point there. And this is before the mark even gets mentioned. Now this is something that through the Spirit, Elder Zahar brought out a couple weeks ago. We're going to show it. But go ahead.
It's Revelation chapter 13 verse 14. And deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
By the means of those miracles. So the beast was going to deceive the people of the earth by the means of miracles. Right, read.
Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
That's right. The miracles, right? Now that word miracle is Strong's Strong's G rather, 4592. It means a sign, mark, token that by which a person or thing is distinguished from another. The same thing as Strong's H22:6, similar, right? A distinguished. So these are things that we have to see and that we have to perceive with our eyes, because everything about this beast is what? Carnal, right? And physical. That's how he works. He's a carnal man. He understands not one thing outside of the flesh. So everything he got to do is fleshly. Okay. Now here's the point I want to make, right? With that being said, now you have the concept of people saying the mark of the beast is sin, right? But a mark, as we have shown by the definitions here in the scriptures, is a noun. It's a thing. Sin is a verb. It's an action. How are you taking an action and making it into a verb? You have to do sin. Give me 1 John 3 and 4. Sin is something that you have to do. It's not sin is not a concept. You know, the great concept of sin. No, it is an action. It is a thing you do. It's a thing if you live in sin, you are constantly committing sins, right? Go ahead.
1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law.
Transgresses also the law. That's an action. That's a verb. Transgressing is a thing that you do. It is not just a thing, it is something you do. A noun is a thing. That's a mark. The mark is a noun. This sin, this is a verb. It is an action. Read.
It says, for sin is the transgression of the law.
That's right, for sin is the transgression of the law. So you have to transgress the law in order to be sinning. It's not just this noun concept that y'all making it out to be. So in parts of speech, y'all is lost by saying that the mark is sin. Okay? You're off and you're wicked, man, for that, man. Okay? And you're deceiving the people. Right? Let's go now let's go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. Go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. And we're going to see about that word for mark. Because how they try to break it down to justify that it's ideological, that it's either Christianity or sin, is they try to go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. But what they're doing is they're abusing the Hebrew and they're abusing the Greek, and they're abusing the people by teaching them that nonsense, quite frankly. You get that Ezekiel 9 and 4.
It's Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem,
That's right.
and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations.
So a mark is getting set upon the foreheads of the elect that are sighing and crying for the abominations, right? Go ahead.
That be done in the midst thereof.
Right? So people say, well, look, this is the same type of mark that the beast is going to have. No, it's not. Because we know that the beast is synonymous with Cain. We understand that. Cain is Esau. Esau is that goddamn beast. So we know that his mark is going to be similar to the mark of Cain because there's no new thing under the sun. Now the mark that's being set upon our heads in Ezekiel 9 and 4 is a spiritual mark. And let's prove it. The word there is Strong's H8420, and it means mark or desire. It means a desire, right?
It's Job chapter 31, verse 35. Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me.
That's right. Go ahead.
And that mine adversary had written a book.
So my desire is that the Almighty will answer me. You can't see my desire. That's what I'm thinking in my head. That's in my head. That's spiritual. My desire. Right? So this is clearly a different word for mark and a different concept. Yes, the Most High is spiritual, but Esau is carnal. The beast mark is carnal. And we've proven that. Now go get me and now the word desire, when you deal with it etymologically, it means to wish or long for. Now give me 2 Chronicles 15 and 15.
Second Chronicles chapter 15 verse 15. And all Judah rejoiced at the oath, for they had sworn with all their heart and sought him with their whole desire.
Sought them with their whole desire. So set a mark upon those that are seeking the Lord with all desire, because those that are sighing and crying are seeking the Lord with all desire. This is a desire that you have. This is something within you, not something that you can physically behold or perceive or see. This is something that's within you. You understand what I'm saying? So these are two totally different concepts, okay? So all that nonsense that the mark is Christianity, which Christianity is, so you have to, that's a verb. You have to be adhering to and doing those things that qualify you into Christianity. Worshiping Caesar, going to church on Sunday, things like that. Living by the things that you were taught in the Christian church. These are two different concepts, right? And we're gonna disprove that embargo thing in a minute, right? But now let's go to Revelation 13 and 16. And we're gonna deal with that.
Revelation 13 verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great.
So he said he calls it all, right, Reed?
Both small and great, rich and poor.
They said he's talking about nations, Reed.
Free and bond.
Free and bond.
To receive,
what nation is bond? Read.
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
What nations got right hands and foreheads? None. It said all shall receive a mark in their right hand and their forehead. Keep reading. We're going to go to 18. Now, actually, before we even do that, now the word for mark, Strong's G 5480, which means charagma. Stamp, imprinted mark, branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work. Which comes from Strong's G 5482, which is karax, which means stake or pale. Now, pale, this is where you get the concept of impaling something. Like, for example, you watch a damn vampire movie, They're going to impale a stake through somebody's chest. This is something physical going into you, right? So we prove it just like the mark of Cain was something physical. This is physical. This is something we can behold. You understand what I'm saying? Now, yeah, keep going in that Revelation.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark.
No man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark. So the only way you're going to be buying and selling is if you got the mark of the beast. Now, this dude Nathaniel got the nerve to say, ain't no Negro buying and selling. What the hell are you talking about, man? Number one, y'all was back in the day in New York having them goddamn oil tables and being security guards. Y'all was buying and selling. What are you talking about? We can go get a vendor's license and buy and sell all we want right now. But it's going to be a time where that vendor's license is going to be out the window, and you're going to have a mark. You're going to have the RFID chip in order to do those things. So you sound crazy, and you deceiving and misleading the masses, and the Most High going to judge you for it. Go to, keep reading.
Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
That's right, the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Where you at?
18.
That was 18. Okay, go skip to
No.
Okay.
I'm
you at 18. Okay, keep going.
Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 666.
Now, when you deal with the UPC code, which every RFID chip has a unique UPC code, it's got that 666 on it, that barcode. Now, go to Revelations 14 and 6.
Revelation 14 and 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people.
Right, matter of fact, read that again. Salah.
Revelation 14 and 6. And in there, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel.
That's right, read.
To preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred.
Every nation and kindred, read.
And tongue and people.
Now skip to verse 9.
Verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image.
If any man. Now, we just saw 3 verses up. It's dealing with the same context, and it differentiated countries, nations, kindreds, and individuals. We just observed that happen in the context. That's why you got to deal with things in context. So how is it talking about embargoes that are going to be upon nations when it just differentiated countries from nations 2 verses prior to this? And now it's talking about if any man received the mark, not if any country received the mark. Why wouldn't it say if any country received the mark? Y'all ain't got no understanding. Keep going though. Finish that.
I really love white people.
So we go ahead.
If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, then the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, read.
Which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So understand this. We know all these people around all these countries are dealing with these embargoes, and them one of them embargoes are a goddamn joke. You have America that's sanctioning Russia, and they laughing at it, and they continuing to do business and do all the things that America's trying to sanction them against. So them embargoes are a damn joke. Read a newspaper, for Christ's sake, okay? Any damn way. So when we deal with it, all these people all around the world are sinning. So by your logic, according to this scripture, every place is going to get burnt up with fire. Where are we going to have to build the kingdom? It don't make no kind of sense, man. Go to Revelation 19 and read 20 to 21.
Revelation 19:20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet.
That's right, read.
That wrote miracles before him.
What's the false prophet, right? That's the Catholic Church. So you have the EU and NATO, you got the Catholic Church. That's the beast and that's the false prophet, who is the whore of Babylon, America, right? Read.
And the beast which was taken, with him the false prophet, that wrote miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast.
All miracles that we can see, which have deceived them that received the mark of the beast. Wait, the beast is countries. The beast is made up of countries. But it said that the beast is having a mark, right? So that embargo stuff don't make no sense. It defeats its own self. You have to have zero understanding to even believe a breakdown like that. Go ahead.
These both were cast alive in the lake of fire,
These
burning
both-
with brimstone.
These both were cast alive into the lake of fire. So if you receive the mark, you're going to be cast alive into the lake of fire. But wait a minute. If it's sin now, then everybody on this earth is going to have to go into the lake of fire. Because everybody on this earth is living wicked as hell and in sin. So who is going to be the slaves for the elect? Can you explain that to me? Who's going to be the elect slaves? Who's going to fulfill Isaiah the 14th chapter if all these people on the earth who are sinners is going to go into the lake of fire? You're illogical, man. That shit don't make no sense. Give it up. Give it the hell up. It's 2014, man. It's not 1992. That shit's out the window. I'm just going to come straight, okay? Because there's going to come a time, martial law troops is going to be kicking indoors, and y'all going to be wandering around looking stupid like, goddamn, these niggas was right. They're going to be talking about you need to receive this mark. Then what you going to do? And then guys like at IUIC, they so big on the mark, on the law. Well, getting the shot in your arm with that mark, that's breaking the law. So what you going to do? Where you at? That was 21? Yeah. Okay, go to Habakkuk 2 and 5. We got to understand the mentality of this beast and this devil that we're dealing with. And then we're going to begin to understand what his mark is. Sin, everybody already sinning. Shit, we sin. If it's Christianity, we was all in Christianity. It said anybody who had any time had received. It says anybody that received. Right? We received Christianity at one point or another. So if the mark of the beast is Christianity, then we're all going into the lake of fire. Now, if it's sin, we done all sinned at one point in time. But let's say we get that pardon, but everybody else around this world is sin. They got to go into the lake of fire. Who's going to fulfill Isaiah the 14th chapter? Which we're going to get in a second. You're illogical. Just stop it, cut it out. Repent, stop being proud, get right, man. That don't mean you got to come up under anybody. That just means you need to change your doctrine to get it right, man. The scriptures say strive for the truth unto death. That's what you got to be striving for, the truth. Not anybody's doctrine that we ain't shaking hands. Ebola going around. Not meaning, oh, you got to get with this dude or that. It ain't about pride. It's about what the truth is and what the scriptures say. And what you are saying is not adding up according to the scripture. The scriptures say you have to know how to rightly divide the word of truth. Now we're dealing with mathematical equations. And coincidentally enough, the word math comes from the Hebrew word of math, meaning what? Truth. So we got to deal with the truth. You got to know how to rightly divide the word of truth. You got to deal with the algorithms of the truth, right? The most common denominator, and the most common denominator of these scriptures is not sin or Christianity or an embargo. It is an RFID chip that they're going to implant, an implantable device they put in right hands and forehead. Like this brother showed earlier, you got dudes that's getting antennas put in their goddamn head. This transhumanism agenda that Esau's pushing. Now, when we go back to the time when the serpent tempted Eve, what did he say? He said, you could become like gods. Now, Esau's whole thing is that transhumanism, merging man and machine together, will cause people to become like gods. So it's the same thing. Ain't nothing new out here. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You better wake up and smell a goddamn coffee, okay? And get out of that damn bullshit. Because it says anybody that received the mark, we receive sin. We receive Christianity. So if it's either of those things, we're all screwed. And this whole world is going and nobody going to get saved unless the Most High got some people somewhere, some Jake somewhere that he done been reserving that live righteous their whole goddamn life.